Back in the 90s, Party of Five wasn't just a teen drama, it was an emotional roller coaster that hit you right in the heart. 5 orphan siblings, one unforgettable story, and a cast that became household names overnight. But what happened after the cameras stopped rolling? Did the Salingers stay in the spotlight or walk away from it? Today, we're catching up with the stars who made Party of Five a TV classic. From breakout roles to surprise reinventions, here's what they've been up to, then and now. Hit that like, subscribe, and let's dive in. Matthew Fox as Charlie Salinger. When Party of Five hit the airwaves in 1994, Matthew Fox became the face of heartbreak and responsibility as Charlie Salinger, the oldest sibling suddenly thrust into the role of parent after tragedy. And in 1996, People magazine made it official by naming him one of the 50 most beautiful people in the world. But that was just the beginning. In the years that followed, Fox stepped into darker, more complex roles. He starred in films like Behind the Mask in 1999, We Are Marshall in 2006, and the action-packed Vantage Point in 2008. But his biggest TV comeback came in 2004 when he took on the unforgettable role of Dr. Jack Shephard in Lost. For 6 seasons, Fox kept us hooked with Jack's tortured heroism and sealed his spot as a television legend. Fox has always played by his own rules. After Lost, he swore off TV and dove into theater, film, and even transformed his body for a terrifying villain role in Alex Cross in 2012. Critics didn't love the movie, but they did love him. After taking a long break from 2014 to 2021 to focus on family, he made a quiet return with the limited series Last Light on Peacock. Now 58 years old, Matthew Fox might be out of the spotlight more often, but he's still as striking and talented as ever. From Charlie Salinger to Jack Shephard, he's left a legacy of intensity, depth, and quiet charisma that fans still admire. Neve Campbell as Julia Salinger. If Party of Five had a heart, it was Julia Salinger, and Neve Campbell played her with all the quiet strength and emotional depth the role demanded. Julia was smart, artistic, and carrying more weight than most teens should. Neve brought her to life in a way that made you feel every high and every heartbreak. Before Party of Five, Neve had a few credits under her belt, like the Canadian series Catwalk, but Julia Salinger was her true breakout. And it didn't take long before Hollywood came knocking. In 1996, Neve exploded onto the big screen as Sidney Prescott in Scream. That role turned her into a horror legend almost overnight. She followed it up with cult favorites like The Craft, Wild Things, and Panic, proving she wasn't afraid to take bold, edgy roles. In 2003, she flexed her creative muscles by co-writing and starring in The Company, a film that blended her love of dance and drama. After a brief break from the spotlight, she returned to TV with strong performances in Medium, The Philanthropist, and the epic miniseries Titanic: Blood and Steel. More recently, you've seen her in Skyscraper alongside Dwayne Johnson, and in Netflix hits like House of Cards and The Lincoln Lawyer, where she continues to command every scene she's in. Now in her early 50s, Neve Campbell has evolved from teen drama queen to one of the most respected actresses of her generation. And let's be real, she still owns every screen she steps onto. Scott Wolf as Bailey Salinger. When Party of Five first hit the screens, Scott Wolf captured hearts as Bailey Salinger, the charming, slightly reckless brother who struggled to find balance after his parents' death. Whether he was dealing with addiction, love, or family chaos, Scott brought Bailey to life with warmth, vulnerability, and a face you couldn't help but root for. But Scott didn't stop there. After Party of Five, he kept the momentum going with major roles in series like The Nine, Perception, and more recently as Carson Drew in Nancy Drew. He's one of those rare actors who never disappeared, instead adapting and growing into every new role with quiet consistency. On the film side, he starred in the fast-paced cult classic Go in 1999 and gave voice to Scamp in Disney's Lady and the Tramp 2, a performance that brought a little extra magic to the animated sequel. More recently, Scott took on heartfelt roles in the Netflix movie Rescued by Ruby and the Hallmark holiday film A Merry Scottish Christmas. And in 2025, he's stepping back into the white coat for a recurring role as Dr. Richard Miller in Doc. Now well into his 50s, Scott remains every bit the grounded, charismatic presence that made fans fall for Bailey all those years ago. Lacey Chabert as Claudia Salinger. Long before she became the queen of cozy holiday movies, Lacey Chabert stole hearts as the violin-playing genius Claudia Salinger on Party of Five. She brought depth and vulnerability to a role that could have easily been overshadowed by the older siblings. But Lacey held her ground, and at just 11 years old, she proved she had serious acting chops. But Party of Five was only the beginning. She made waves in Lost in Space, got laughs in Not Another Teen Movie, and showed off her comedic side in the iconic role of Gretchen Wieners in Mean Girls. Yes, she made fetch happen, whether Regina George liked it or not. From horror flicks like Black Christmas to animated charmers like All I Want for Christmas Is You, Lacey never stopped surprising her audience. Her voice has become a staple in animation, from playing Eliza Thornberry in The Wild Thornberrys to voicing Zatanna in DC projects, and even a season as Meg Griffin in Family Guy. Her vocal versatility is unmatched. These days, she's a Hallmark Channel favorite, with over 40 films to her name. And in 2022, she launched the Lacey Chabert Collection on HSN, expanding her brand beyond the screen. Now in her early 40s with over 1.1 million fans on Instagram, Lacey continues to balance heartwarming roles, voice work, and business ventures with grace. Jacob Smith as Owen Salinger. When Jacob Smith stepped into the role of Owen Salinger, he was just a kid, but his big eyes and shy smile quickly earned him a place in viewers' hearts. As the baby of the Salinger clan, Owen didn't get as much screen time in Party of Five, but Jacob made every scene count. By the time he was 7, Jacob was already making waves in TV land with appearances on shows like Walker, Texas Ranger, and Step by Step. He also popped up in made-for-TV movies like Phantom of the Megaplex, where he brought just the right mix of spooky and sweet. In 2002, he took on the fairy tale world as Hansel in Hansel and Gretel, sharing the screen with Taylor Momsen. But it was Cheaper by the Dozen in 2003 that really made him a familiar face to families everywhere. Playing one of Steve Martin's 12 kids, Jacob brought charm and sass to the role of Jake Baker. He reprised the character in Cheaper by the Dozen 2, solidifying his spot as a go-to child actor in early 2000s family films. He even had a small part in the epic blockbuster Troy and a guest spot on Without a Trace. But just as his star was rising, Jacob quietly stepped away from the spotlight. Now, in adulthood, Jacob lives a much more private life. He may have hit pause on Hollywood, but for anyone who grew up watching him, his face will always spark that nostalgic, feel-good memory. Jennifer Love Hewitt as Sarah Reeves Marin. Back in the Party of Five days, Jennifer Love Hewitt lit up the screen as Sarah Reeves Marin, the kind-hearted love interest whose chemistry with Bailey made fans swoon. But it didn't take long for her to step out of the ensemble and become a teen star in her own right. After leaving the Salinger family drama, Jennifer exploded onto the big screen as Julie James in I Know What You Did Last Summer and its chilling sequel. She kept the momentum rolling with Can't Hardly Wait, where she proved she could handle both horror and heartfelt teen angst like a pro. Her film credits stacked up quickly. Heartbreakers, The Tuxedo, and the Garfield movies showcased her playful side, while her dramatic chops took center stage in the hit series Ghost Whisperer. From there, she moved into meteor roles like Riley Parks in The Client List and Special Agent Kate Callahan in Criminal Minds. These days, she's starring as Maddie Buckley in the high-intensity series 911, showing she's still got that screen-commanding presence. Off-screen, Jennifer also found her voice in music, releasing 4 albums, including Bare Naked, which hit the Billboard charts. And yes, she's still got loyal fans. Her Instagram following has grown to nearly 2 million strong. At 46, she's not just a former teen idol, she's a multi-talented force who's evolved with every chapter. And with a return to the I Know What You Did Last Summer franchise on the way, it's clear she's nowhere near finished. Scott Grimes as Will McCorkle. Before he was cracking jokes on Party of Five, Scott Grimes had already built an impressive resume. At just 13, he shared the screen with Mickey Rooney in a heartfelt holiday film, sang in front of royalty in Sweden, and earned praise from Richard Carpenter for his vocal talent. By the time most teens were figuring out high school, Scott had released his first album and voiced Pinocchio in a dark animated classic. In Party of Five, Scott brought warmth and comic timing to Will McCorkle, Bailey's loyal best friend. He wasn't always in the spotlight, but he gave the show a grounded, everyman charm that balanced out the heavy drama. But his talents weren't limited to teen dramas. He broke through in a big way with his role as Dr. Archie Morris on ER. What started off as comic relief turned into one of the show's most layered characters. And let's not forget his unforgettable performance as Donald Malarkey in HBO's Band of Brothers. Since 2005, fans have known and loved his voice as Steve Smith on American Dad, along with countless other oddball characters. More recently, he took to the stars in The Orville playing Gordon Malloy, the wisecracking pilot with surprising depth. Grimes also has 3 music albums under his belt and even voiced a long-lost Swanson on Family Guy. Now 53, he's still showing up, singing strong, and proving that versatility might just be his secret superpower. Michael A. Jordan as Justin Thompson. Not every star has to shine the loudest to leave a mark, and Michael Jordan proves that in spades. Well, Party of Five fans remember him as Justin, Julia's quiet, bookish boyfriend who made hearts melt with his sincerity. His career spans far more than teenage romance. Before becoming a staple of 90s television, Jordan snagged his big Hollywood breaks as a dancer in Disney's Newsies alongside Christian Bale. From there, he worked his way through impressive projects like Chaplin, Leaving Las Vegas, and Hard Rain, acting with legends like Robert Downey Jr., Mel Gibson, and Morgan Freeman. In 1994, his powerful performance in David's Mother won him an Emmy Award, a rare feat for a supporting role in a TV movie. But Jordan didn't stop at acting. He took a leap behind the camera, writing and directing the deeply personal indie film Illusion in 2004, where he starred alongside the legendary Kirk Douglas. Fans of cult classics will always remember him as Heroin Bob from SLC Punk, a role he reprised in Punk's Dead nearly 2 decades later. On TV, he's popped up in everything from Monk and House to CSI and Alias, always adding his quiet intensity to the mix. Most recently, in 2022, he wrote, directed, and starred in the acclaimed Armenian-American film Amerikatsi, showcasing once again that he's more than an actor, he's a storyteller. Jennifer Aspin as Daphne. Remember Daphne Jablonski from Party of Five? Yeah, Bailey's bold and unpredictable girlfriend who shook things up in the later seasons. That role was played by the incredibly versatile Jennifer Aspin, and trust us, her career hasn't slowed down since. Jennifer first popped onto the scene in the mid-90s, showing up in fan-favorite shows like Hope and Gloria, Beverly Hills 90210, and Married with Children. But it was Party of Five from 1998 to 2000 that really put her on the radar. Her portrayal of Daphne, a character as complicated as she was captivating, showed Jennifer could bring heart and heat to any role. After that, she became a regular face on both comedy and drama series. She starred in the short-lived sitcom Bob Patterson in 2001 and later played opposite Rodney Carrington in Rodney on ABC. Jennifer also showed up in Glee as the hilarious and over-the-top Kendra Giardi, reminding everyone she's got serious comedic chops. But it didn't stop there. In 2022, she starred in ABC's GCB, stealing scenes alongside Kristen Chenoweth and Annie Potts as the sassy Sharon Peachum. In 2018, she also dipped into darker, moodier territory with roles in Sharp Objects and The Wrong Woman. Now in her 50s, Jennifer Aspin continues to surprise us, balancing biting humor with emotional depth like a total pro. She's proof that some actors don't just grow, they evolve, and Jennifer's journey is still unfolding. Tamara Taylor as Grace Wilcox. Do you remember Tamara Taylor, who brought a quiet strength and sophistication to Party of Five as Grace Wilcox? She was a social worker who eventually became romantically involved with Charlie Salinger. Though her time on the show was brief, her presence left a lasting impression. After her role in Party of Five, Taylor continued building an impressive TV portfolio. She popped up in hit series like CSI Miami, Lost, Dawson's Creek, NCIS, and Without a Trace, always bringing poise and depth to the screen. Around the same time, she made her feature film debut in Senseless in 1998, starring opposite Marlon Wayans. She went on to appear in Introducing Dorothy Dandridge as Halle Berry's best friend, and later played Deborah Simmons in Tyler Perry's Diary of a Mad Black Woman in 2005. In the same year, she had a quick but memorable role in Serenity, the big-screen conclusion to Joss Whedon's Firefly, a project that helped her land even more roles, including her later work alongside Buffy alum David Boreanaz. Taylor's biggest breakout came in Bones, where she starred for over a decade as Dr. Camille Sarian, the fearless head of the Jeffersonian team. More recently, she played Sybil in the final season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., followed by key roles in Law & Order, Organized Crime from 2021 to 2022, and Snowfall in 2023. Now 54, Tamara Taylor remains as graceful and compelling as ever, both on-screen and off. She's also active on Instagram, where over 130,000 followers keep up with her latest projects and timeless charm. And there you have it, the unforgettable cast of Party of Five, then and now. From teen drama icons to seasoned stars, they've all carved unique paths in Hollywood. Which transformation surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss new videos.